Hello everybody, welcome to our Facebook Live, this little Zoom class that we're going to do for you. So I'm really quite excited. I've got Nature's Collectables for you. It's a fabulous set of 3 dies, but they're die sets. So there's a huge amount that we can do with them. Already proving incredibly popular, but there you're seeing them on the website. Altogether, they should be $53.97, but we've got a special price for you of $35.98, which means you're actually getting one of the collections for free. In fact, Nest members, you're at $32.38. So what I'm going to do is, and don't forget, if you use ClearPay, it's just £8.09 today. So let me show you a couple of things about this collection. So first of all, let's go this way. This is our sitting toadstools, and I'm just going to turn it over and let you see this exquisite collection, because you've got all the different mushrooms all in one go. You've got the foliage in here, so it's incredibly snippable. We can take the leaf off the top, we can take the foliage from the back, we can take out the red mushroom, we can take out those mushrooms, we can take out the green foliage. We can take out these mushrooms. We can take off this one. We've got more foliage to be able to layer up. Really, really versatile. I'm going to work hard on this for you next year because I want to be able to try and give you better value for money. Well, even better value for money. So the next one is called What Can You See? So these 2 little birds, and we've got them in, actually, let me just get these right. There we go. That's what you've got. What can you see? These are the 2 little birds with those lovely blue flowers, and they really are quite exquisite. They lend themselves perfectly to this collection, sitting on the toadstools, sitting on some of the cards. I'm just going to share with you this one, which is so super beautiful, with those little birds sitting right at the front. There are your mushrooms, just all growing at different angles, coming out of the soil of forest floor. The flowers that are part of these collections, so there's the little blue flowers. Let's take a look at the next one that you've got, and it's this one, which is called What Can You Hear? So we've got the birds out there for the spring and summer, winter, dawn choruses, all there ready for us to craft with. So a few more ideas for you. I'm going to share those straight away. And wow. So in the middle of the ring of the little footprint dies, this is one that Vicky has done for us. She's used a piece of construction acetate to support that ring, so it's freestanding. Then 2 of them back to back, and then the birds have been decoupaged, really cleverly decoupaged, using the technique of actually making sure that the edges touch to the design so we don't get any of those openings, and then the flowers holding this all together. And the little tails even, just look fabulous. So they're totally freestanding. Loving the way that one works. And can I just say a big hello to everybody who has just joined us. Kay, Christine, Mand, welcome to all of you. And there's so many of you watching today. Please, if you've got any questions, message the questions. A couple of things I can tell you. Robin's Nesters, your little Benji bunny badges have come in, and they're on their way to them. They're really super cute. They're quite small, and they're lovely. They're going to be going out to you. And of course, we've got loads of education here at Highlight Crafts. So hi, Glenda. Hi, Lorraine. Hi. Just wanted to share with you some more ideas. So look at this one. How cute is this with our little gnome sitting at the bottom? This has been probably the best place and collection that I've seen to work with this little gnome since we brought them out. And doesn't that just tell a fabulous story? Then I've got another one here. Now this is clever because this one utilizes those footprint dies, nested footprints, and you can see the little footprints going all the way round. They're on a special deal at the moment, so check that out. But the little birds lend themselves to this, to leaning into the background that you can see there. Just really, really super cute. And then the other set of birds in this collection, by picking up the colours of their feathers and using those for the mats and layers alongside the colours of the actual leaves, it works incredibly well. And don't forget to check out, because we have now got the most amazing cardstock you could ever wish, and it's all 12 by 12. And then this one, well, this is one of my favourites, because it brings in one of the other dies from a previous collection. And I think what we're trying so hard to do at Two Red Robins is making sure that your value for money is maintained at all times. So although you get 2 birds in this collection, you're actually seeing 3. And that's just by taking this one with his branch vertical and changing the angle of it and the little angle of the bird being perched. And then I'm just going to show you just one more for the moment, and then we'll come back and look at some more in a moment. And that's how this works perfectly for winter. And that little bit of sparkle on the trees, the little birds there, and the deer inside. Again, you know, this is one of Steve's cards, and you can see the dimension we've got there with those lovely mushrooms. It just looks fabulous. Okay, so I've got a demonstration lined up for you, and I'm going to be doing something that I haven't tried before. And I'm quite excited about this because I've been thinking about this as a demo for quite a while. So what I'm going to be working with is I've got a sheet of our construction acetate. All my die cuts have already been done for me, so I've got them all here ready. Oh, and can I just share this with you? Look at the size of these dies. I mean, wow, there's my hand. That's the size of the die. And this deal works out that you're getting the equivalent of one of these for free. And Nesters, you're getting it for free and some. So you are getting all of those, which are, you know, that's super wow. Okay, so I've got 2 of my circles. So I've actually cut 3 because I'm going to stick 2 of them together to just give me a little bit of extra dimension. But what we're going to be doing is, so one of them's going to be the front and one of them's going to be the back. And I am not going to do anything to stop it rolling. I'm going to let that roll. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this onto my glass cutting mat. Now, you guys know I love using my mat to do different things with, and particularly when it is for using it for measuring and lines. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm looking here, and I'm just going to get myself something that I can mark the mat with. So I'm going to take a little bit of tape, because it's important that I know where this mark is. So that's where the top of the circle is. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll that down to that line that I've got there. So I'm folding it down along that line. Then I'm going to turn this round, and I can do it better probably this way, and making sure that it's all level. So this is still parallel to that part of the design. I'm just checking it there. And then this one is going to fold down the same amount. Now, from this design, it isn't going to matter whether they overlap or they meet in the middle or they don't meet. But what we need are these 2 panels on either side. Those 2 panels are going to prove very, very important. So I'm just going to check this. I haven't quite folded that one as perfectly as possible. So I'm just going to get that score line back in there so that it's as straight as I can get it. There we go. So that's what my panel is going to look like. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself a few strips of the acetate. And I'm planning on needing about 4 of these. So I'm literally going to be just cutting enough to be able to cut myself about 5 centimetres in length. So I've got about 1 centimetre in width and about 5 centimetres in length. They don't have to be perfect. So they're the 4 pieces that I've got. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to make some little slits in this piece of card. And to do that, they're going to go something like this, 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 and this. So there'll be the 4 little slits that I'm going to make. And I'm just going to check what I've done with my craft knife, which looks like I may have taken it onto my desk. So we're going to have to ask the lovely Amanda to bring us one. So I'll pop that to one side for a moment. And while Amanda gets us a craft knife, and then we're going to do some work with our birds. Now, I think what I need to explain to you is I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. So I'm going to decorate the front of this panel, and this one's going to be the back. And then what's going to happen is this piece is going to get glued there. This piece is going to get glued there. So we've created a really fabulous rocker. And I'm going to put the decoupage on the front and also on the pieces that I've got. So let me pop these together so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to take that piece of glue just there, and I'm going to put a piece of glue there, and I'll cut these strips because the lines are not very straight. I'm just going to make it so that you don't see these. So that's 1, second, third, and the 4th. So I'm just going to take the back off one panel for the time being, fold that back, and that is going to go on there like that. Okay. Then I've got the little slits, and they're designed so that my pieces of acetate are going to stick in there. So just checking that I've got them all the right width. And then finally, that one will go into the last one. So they're the little panels. And what we will need to do on this side is these will need to be scored so that they fold up vertically. And I'm going to score that one that way, this one towards me, this one away from me, and one more towards me. So I've alternated between going towards me and away from me. And that will just need a piece of tape to go all the way across there and keep that all down nice and firmly. So let's just get a piece of tape, and I'm just going to pop that, get that there, make sure they're all straight, and get those popped in place. And there you can see, I've just literally got them stuck down. So just give them a little bit of pressure next to either side, because I'm using a low-tack tape, but that will ensure that they all stay where they need to. So just going to release that panel, and then you can see that these are all going to stand up for me. So I've got another place to be able to do some decoupage and some design. And then this panel is going to sit over the top like that. So we've got our rocking card. But before I do anything, I need to decorate the front of this, because otherwise I found when I was just experimenting with this card, it became quite difficult to get everything exactly where you needed it and in proportion. And there is one little trick at the end that I'm going to need to utilise, and that's to make sure that the whole thing holds its shape and it doesn't fall over. Now, what I've done is I've just pushed 2 of the little stays up and 2 of them down so that I can get this level, because this helps me see the vertical lines in this circle. So that's the first thing that I need to do. I'm then going to take the mushrooms, and you can, wow, look at them. These are fabulous. And being able to snip into them, talk about snippable. There are so many little pieces in here that we could work with and use. So first of all, let's take that little leaf out, because we definitely can use that. So I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to place that one just down at the bottom. Now, this mushroom, I wouldn't discard that, because it just looks like, you know, mushrooms do sort of almost just melt away some elements of them. So I would be thinking about how I might be able to use that for something else. So that's one little tip. I've got these little leaves, which I'm just loving. I'm going to take those out, and I'll take that. And this mushroom now looks like what a little ladybug or something's come along and just had a little nibble of it. So I'm going to take out this one. And I do love these red cap mushrooms, but I do believe they're not good for you. So you definitely don't eat them. And then we're going to go along the bottom, and I'm just going to take out that little piece. So that's going to sit just there. I've got this part of the greenery, which I really want to be able to save. And I'm just using the little pips that hold it in place and breaking those. And, you know, I've shown you before, you can do this from either side of your work, because I'm just going to quickly go across there, and I'll show you how I'll go into those pips for speed. So if I was speed crafting, I would turn this over, and I would literally just be coming into this part of it. So that piece drops out. Then I come up here, and I can see where my little pips are to get that piece out, and that piece, and that piece. There's a landlocked piece there, and that should come, and that one will come. And I've still got a little bit more that I can take out of there, which is great. Let's take you away, and one more little bit just in there, and I'm going to take that too. So we've got that lovely leaf that's curling, and we've got some dimensions so you can see that one. Now this one and the one that I've got here, they've both been quite heavily cut into now. So how are we going to make the most of these in this design? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and it's got loads of holes in it, but we're not going to worry about that, because I'm going to take a look at it, and I'm going to use it to just feature just like that. So just a little bit of the mushroom just poking through from where we're working, it just giving us a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to take the double-sided tape and get some height. So we've got a little bit of shape there, and I'm just going to change the angle of that leaf. So as if it's sort of just fallen off, and it looks like that little bit of mushroom's just been chewed by one of nature's bugs. So we'll get that piece, and we're just going to pop that under. So we've got some good dimension going on there. Got all of this happily working together. Those little green leaves really lend themselves to having up in this top corner. So we'll pop those up here, and that's going to go in just there. I've got this one, which I'm now going to place over the top, because we want to see the leaves behind, but we also want the dimension. And I'm going to use some tape on the middle of the leaf, and on this one, I'm not putting anything on the actual mushroom itself. Now, you could backfill with some glue gel if you wanted to, but I'm quite happy that this will be sturdy enough, and it will give me the look that I want. So I'm just going to pop that there, and then make sure that I've got that piece set. So I've got lots of dimension. And then finally, I've got this little mushroom, and I'm not going to let that one go side by side. I'm on top. I'm going to make it so it goes to the side, so it looks like we've got two of them growing. But to do that, I'm also going to shorten it. So we've got a little bit of tape, and I'm using the tape to support the weakness that there is just here, where it's been cut away from the middle of the design, and just shape that, and that one is going to sit just that little bit lower. So there we've got the start of the story. So now I can have a look at what else I want to do. So when I look at it, I know that I want to put my little birds in here. So I'm going to start off with this collection, and I'm going to put them to the back. And you can see that having these two stays on either side really will help support them. So I'm just turning this over, and for the purpose of what I'm doing now, I'm just quickly going to use this dry tape. I would be making this work a little bit harder, and I'd be using the dry to get me started. So let's get you it, which is there. And I'd then go to the wet glue. So the dry tape would be a temporary bond, and the wet glue would be permanent. And I would look at using my pin flare glue gel, or even my new Cadence glues that I'm working with, which are giving me some great results. So you can see now how I've got that bit of dimension here. So I'm happy with the way that that's starting to come together. So I'm actually going to put the back on here. And the reason that I'm doing this now, if I can find it, is because, and you need to lay it down to get the panel, whoops, so you get the panel at the bottom there, and then this piece, you've got to manhandle it in place like that, so that it is all lined up like this. Now, the reason that we need to save doing the last part of this until the end, this last bit, is because we've got to make sure that wherever we put these elements, it stays balanced and it doesn't rock to one side and fall over. So I'm just going to double check the way this is going. I'm actually I'm just giving this a little bit of a curve inside, so making sure that I've got a tiny bit of extra support there. That's holding nicely. I'm going to take away this little bit of tape. So let me show you what that's looking like from the front. So you can see. So I'm just going to let go, but it's going to stand, but I still need to put some extra design on here. So that's going to push it more vertical and upright. And so I'm now coming into the next part of the collection, and I'm going to just snip in here like this. And I'm going to take these flowers and just put them to the front. But can you see how I've just turned that so that I'm getting another little bit of dimension? So the flowers aren't looking like they're just going in the same direction. And in fact, I'm just going to take those two little buds off, and I'm going to take away that leaf there to get a little bit of extra dimension again. So some more tape. And it's such good fun when you start to work out these new designs and where they're going to go and how you're going to be able to expand them. So I'm already thinking of different things that I can do with this. So now I know I can cut that piece of acetate away because we don't want any extra on the weight of the card. So I'm going to take that piece as well. But look how much dimension I've got between those flowers. This little bird that I've got, well, where's his little partner gone? It's here, because he is going to sit just in here amongst the little branches and the mushrooms. So we're going to pop him just there. So he'll need a little bit of tape on here. And this then fills this. Now, you know, you could, of course, be putting a backing paper on the white. I wanted to be able to show you this card shape as much as anything. This for me was what this was all about. So let's just see how that's standing up. It's still, yeah, we're still there. I do need some more colour on this side. So I'm going into my second set of designs, and I'm going to take out the little birds and save those for another project. So we'll go just here and into there. And these ones are going to get tucked behind the pink. So a little bit of tape on here. And that's going to go just there. So those little blue flowers are now holding part of the design. I'm going to take some more of them, and this time they're going in a completely different place. I'm going to use these with the mushrooms, and I'm going to tuck them so that, I'm just going to take that little bit of wood there. I'm going to tuck them just here, so it's bringing the design together. And then we would want to do lots more decoupage and dimension on here, but I need to just make sure that because of what I've done, I am still allowing this whole thing to stand and rock, which just about will. So the next part of this, so I'm just going to wiggle for a second because I just need to get myself a couple more circles because that is what's required. So I'm going into my little stash, and here they are. So this is what we're going to need. We need to, oops, that one's a little bit smaller. I'm just going to see if I've got them exactly the right size. If not, we'll improvise. Just going to see if that will do, and it will. So I'm going to improvise by using this semicircle to support the design, because the reason that I'm not getting that rocking properly is that this piece of card is too lightweight. It's just a little bit flimsy. So I need something that's that little bit stronger to just support the bottom of this design, which is what I've got here. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of trimming, but I'll do that in a moment. And for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to trim, oops, let me use these scissors, they're not sticky. I'm just going to trim round here. So up there and round there. And we'll just use some tape to hold this all in place. So round the whole thing. Probably if I was sat at my desk, I might use flat glue, but this will give us the desired effect. It's the weight of the card that we want. So I'm checking where that is to make sure it goes on the bottom, and it's both sides, which at the moment it isn't. So I think we're about there. So already much more sturdy. And then the other one is going to go on here inside. So you can see I've got it still nice and neat. And this will, again, support the inside, and we'll have to trim off those two little pieces on either side. So preference would be not to have to use the card like I'm using it, but to actually cut yourself the circles out of cardstock that's strong enough to support this design, so that you don't have to do what I've just done, which is create a running repair for it, because we need the actual card to be super sturdy. And then you can put a penny on the back and it will rock. So it will rock backwards and forwards. It's not going to want to do it very well now, but you can get it to do super rocking. So it is going to bug me a little bit. Andrew's absolutely right. But let me just show you in here what the construction of those elements are. So you've got the two panels, the four little tabs that are all holding all the elements together. And then you've got the front of it decorated, as you can see here. But that's our circle card with our acetate tabs, utilising the designs from the Nature's Collectables and giving us another, come on, do it. Do. Oh, you want to, really does want to, but we're just not quite there. I'll tell you what, I'll have to do a bit more practicing and see where the pennies are, because clearly must have spent those on lunch. I'll see you all again super soon. Thank you so much. Just remember, everybody, these are just beautiful dies, and you're getting all 3 of them in the collection. And I'm going to, because this is going to bug me, I'm going to get this video done, and we'll do a little video for you next week with it rocking. Come on. Oh, it's so close. It will rock. And I'll get a little video showing you it doing its rocking thingy. Thank you. Have the most amazing weekend. And I'm going to have lots of news to tell you about next week, because I'm actually going, oh, it did rock right over. I'm going to be going to Cadence at the weekend and having a look at some new products. So imagine how super exciting that is. Thank you, everybody, for your time. As always, you are absolute superstars. Don't forget the deal on Highlight Crafts. Also, understand that there's some exciting stuff going on at Create and Craft at the moment as well. Lovely Mel Heaton is there tonight. So take a look and watch out for that too. See you all soon. Lots of love.